welcome to this special confidential episode. Now today would have seen the start of Series 3 of Doctor Who Figure Adventures. Unfortunately there's been a change of plans. Recently my computer crashed and I lost everything, and when I mean everything I mean music, videos, files, sound effects, the works, and I've got quite a lot of stuff back now, and that's good, and we're refilming and continuing Series 3 now, so don't worry, it's not gone for good, we are redoing it. It just means that the new date will now be the 1st of September as opposed to today, 14th of July. So basically in this confidential we're going to be talking about the lost episodes of Series 3, namely episodes 5 and 6. So episode 5 was basically a story where I wanted the Doctor to do something different. I wanted him to look different as well, and we'll get to that in a minute. I wanted it to be set on a space station and in space, as opposed to it being on Earth and all that. So basically the story was, because the story that I'm going to be doing for episodes 5 and 6 now is not the same. I'm not redoing this again. What you're going to see are the clips that I've managed to recover and found. But apart from that, the story's not continuing. There might be there's some plot twists in there that I put for story arcs that I might continue on, but you won't see them begin in that story. It's not going to happen. But the story was that the Doctor was chasing the Byzantium from Time of Angels. It wasn't the same one, but I would also mention as a reference that the cargo ships that were made, there was quite a lot of them. So the Byzantium in the Time of Angels wasn't the only one. The Doctor was chasing it because there was some suspicious alien activity on board. It's only until it arrives above Earth that it actually returns fire, or actually fires, at the TARDIS and destroys it. And that would be the pre-titles, the TARDIS exploding, the console just blowing up. After that it would be the Doctor waking up after being unconscious from on board a spaceship, and the Heavenly Host were going to return. They weren't going to do anything evil or anything like throw their things, because I took them off that, and I took the wings off, so they just looked like proper robots, like servants, and that's what they were in the story. And it helps the Doctor up, and it changes his clothes from his tweed jacket to a suit, and it was basically an excuse for me to use the 11th Doctor regenerated figure from the End of Time wave, because I wanted to use it. I didn't want it just to sit on the shelf and never be used again, and I know for a fact that it could only be used for that scene in the End of Time where he's just regenerated. But I thought, no, this story has a good way of putting this in. Sadly it's never going to be, so that's a shame. But he learns that there's a party on board, which makes him even more suspicious, because he's thinking there's alien activity on this ship, but there's a party going on. So the host takes him to a party, and basically it's a alien party. There's humans there, there's aliens. Some of them that you see in the scene, which I'll show you, will be coming up in a minute, we're seeing, were Slovene, what else was there? Hoyks, there was Hath, and then there was the Cat People. There was basically Novice Haim and Brannigan, and some other humans as well at a party. And then he would meet this one character called Sophie, which is a Helen Cutter figure from Primeval, and she knows about the Doctor. She has a sort of idea about who he is, and she's basically tags along with him for the adventure, and as we go through the story and it starts to build up for the cliffhanger, because it is a two-parter, she's basically giving out accidentally more details, saying there's one scene which I don't think we actually have the clip, I think we've lost that completely, where she actually has a sonic screwdriver of her own, and it actually is I think it was a classic 4th Doctor Sonic, and it was basically, she starts referencing that she saw a dead man and next to him was a sonic screwdriver, and she had to take it because she couldn't let it fall into anybody else's hands, because it would just spark chaos from the technology and the way it can be used in that. And I then added on to that it wasn't just any old dead man, but it was the Doctor that died, and she was gonna almost say this to him, but I decided to leave it out because it wasn't necessary to the story. I mean, I was setting up, basically episode 5 with the character Sophie was setting up a story that was not going to be shown in episode 5, and we just suddenly got dark, so let me just do that. That's better. And so basically I was building a story that was never going to be resolved in the episode, so I thought I won't go there, there's no point. So with that, we then meet the Shadow Virus, which is basically a pyroval magma creature. The brightness then, on a green screen, I took the background of the green out, placed it onto a clear photo of which I can just put it in, and then I then put the brightness down to the lowest setting, so it was just black, and then I took the transparency and put it down a bit, so it looked as if it wasn't in the room. It was there, but it wasn't physically there, and it gave the impression of a shadow. And that was the Shadow Virus. It was going to be revealed that they absorb energy in that, energy and time, that's what they absorb, and it was through that they needed to basically reveal their army and bring them back, because they were trapped in time itself, and the only way they could open it was with a space-time anomaly, and both the Doctor is a space-time anomaly, so they were going to use him, or they did, but it's then revealed that Sophie is also a space-time anomaly, and the Doctor actually references saying that space-time anomalies are only people who travel through the time vortex, so it sort of gave you a clue that she was associated with time and space and travelling and that, which also gave the impression that she was a companion of the Doctor in the future. At the time, I knew where I was going to take the story, but now I don't, because I think I made too many different plot points for one character that spread off in different directions. There was too many being developed, and I just couldn't continue it. But she was going to be a good character. So the Doctor swaps with Sophie in the machine, and basically they drain his life, so it then gave me an excuse to use the ancient Doctor, 10th Doctor figure from The Sound of Drums and the Last Time Lords, because it was the same suit, so I could get away with no continuity errors, like, oh, he's in the suit, and then stuff like that. So I could use that, and the Shadow Virus then gave him a choice whether to die, and I think it was die and condemn the universe, or stand against the Shadow Virus and they'll destroy the Earth. And it was building up, and I always kept hinting at a gun that was next to him, and then he would grab the gun, point at the Shadow Virus, and he'll say that, you know, there's no way out, and I will face this. And basically the cliffhanger would be that he actually fires the gun, but you don't know what happens. So it was similar to the Impossible Astronaut cliffhanger. So then in episode 6, which is the second part, you get the pre-titles, previously bit, and then there would be a scene where the spaceship is suddenly exploding, which you'll see in the whole load of clips we'll show. I don't know if it's going to be done like through showing you as I'm talking along, or at the end. But suppose basically the spaceship is exploding above Earth, and the Doctor and Sophie are running, and it was integral for me to do this to get her out of the story, because the rest of the episode was not going to feature her in, and it was written so that she wouldn't fit in it, considering what was going to happen. And basically she stays on the ship, and the Doctor doesn't realise until he's on the TARDIS, which also comes back, it regenerates and returns to him. And before he can do anything, the ship has exploded. But at this point, because the machine has been destroyed in the explosion, the regeneration energy they absorbed stayed in the machine to power the ship. So because it's destroyed, it returns to the Doctor. It flies at the TARDIS, and it absorbs the Doctor, and then he regenerates, and then you'd see the TARDIS suddenly crash down towards Earth, and that would be the pre-titles. Then that would be the Upton titles. Afterwards, it would be in a desert, and the TARDIS would crash land, and there was smoke pouring out of the doors, and the Doctor would climb out, and he'd look around and be like, "Oh, a desert," and then there would be a big fireball in the sky, and it's revealed that it's in fact the shadow virus, who have now, because they can absorb energy and time, have absorbed all of the explosions from the exploding ship, and now possess powers and abilities to fire flames and stuff at enemies and that. It crash lands like a meteor down to the desert, and it basically reveals to the Doctor it's got powers now that it can absorb and never be stopped, and there'll be a big fight between the Sonic Screwdriver, and similar to Harry Potter in the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the final battle between Lord Voldemort and Harry Potter. And because of the two mixtures of energies combining, they were so powerful, they actually ruptured space and time and created a wormhole in the exact spot. And because it was connected to an energy source, the Sonic Screwdriver is an object, so it couldn't actually be absorbed. But the Shadow Virus is a being with absorbed energy, so the wormhole is like a magnet, and it actually drew him in. So it draws him in, and he gets trapped into the wormhole, and it closes. And then basically the Doctor then goes to collect George, because he doesn't feature in this episode. I planned this two-parter to be a George Light episode, like there's a Doctor Light and a Companion Light episode for series, and so George would get recollected, and then I was going to give a sort of, for the cliffhanger, because the way me and James had structured it was that episode 6 would be the final episode of part 1 before we go on a break, and then we come back for part 2. So we needed to give it a big cliffhanger, and my original, or what was going to be my original idea, was to have the TARDIS suddenly be taken off course to a cave, and the Doctor's wondering what's going on, so he exits the TARDIS and has a look. He has a torch as well, which is just a Jadoon scanner, and I just applied a light beam using the Sony ray effect, or light ray, so I was using it. And he would meet a hooded figure with no face. It was just the hood, and it was just black inside, and he would say that he knows about the Doctor, and he's been watching him, studying him, knows his motivations, how he works, how what nearly destroys him, what nearly stops him and corrupts him. And basically the Doctor's really confused. He's like, "Who are you?" And he basically says, "This is not, you won't know yet, and the game of time has begun." And I was going to reveal that I still continue it, because it was basically going to be a sort of prequel within an episode for episode 9, which, yes, is with the Reapers, and I just wanted to sort of build up something for that episode, just so that when the episode comes you think, "Oh, this is the guy that I remember." Sorry, so with that, I did that, and then basically the cliffhanger would be that there was this ticking in the Doctor's head, and it was getting louder and louder and louder, and basically it was turning him insane, just like the Master with the drums. And that was basically going to be the cliffhanger, and then we'd continue in part 2 with episodes 7 to 13, so that was basically the idea. I'm now changing it so it's to do with a dig and into the earth, and they find a crystal which has powers to infect people with this like virus thing that can spread really fast, like an alien virus, and so that's going to be the new plot for episodes 5 and 6. That's going to be the new plot for episodes 5 and 6. So that is about it. Now you're going to see the clips of the lost scenes that we managed to recover. Hope you enjoy them. It is a shame that I have lost all the stuff, because I didn't complete episode 5 completely. That was done, and episode 6 I'd done about half of. Actually no, I completed all of episodes 5 and 6, and then the crash came and I lost everything. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the clips we're going to show now, and I hope you look forward to Series 3, which starts on the 1st of September. So with that, enjoy and goodbye. This better be important. I'm busy. Thanks. What are you doing?
Please stand by for degeneration.
Oh, not a suit. I thought we left those days behind. Where's my tweed? What have you done with it?
Your original clothes have been stored in our databanks. They can be retrieved at any time.
Yeah, well, I'd like them back right now.
You must be in formal dress for the party.
What party?
Please, follow me. Please enjoy the activities. Any information can be requested from us. Thank you.
Hey, I haven't seen you around this party. You must be new. How are you? My name's Sophie.
Hi, I'm the doctor.
Nice to meet you, Doctor. How are you enjoying the party?
Well, I've only just got here, so first impressions is pretty good. There's some unsavory characters, though.
Oh, yeah, Celine. Ignore them. They're being nice, but I don't really fall for it.
Human?
Yourself?
Time Lord. Last of them.
Really? I heard them in legends and stuff, but I didn't think it was real. Are you really the last Time Lord?
The one and the only.
Good news, I hope. There is a passenger at the party. He calls himself the Doctor. The Doctor? Continue.
He is also unregistered as being part of the guest list.
I see.
He has also said he is part of a race known as the Time Lords.
What? Bring him to me. Discreetly. We do not want to attract any unwanted attention from the party guests.
Yes, sir.
Time